Hey, hey, hey! So today's video, if you couldn't guess by the title and this bag in front of me, I'm going to be talking about everything I'm taking on my 4-month backpacking trip to Southeast Asia. Now the only bags that I'm taking is this one, which I think is a 40 litre or a 35, so I have no idea, but it's by Caramel and it looks this big. That's not very helpful at all. And then the other bag that I'm taking is this camera bag, which can hold my camera gear in the bottom and then lots of other bits up here. Now in this video, I want to be talking about exactly what I'm packing and why, so you can see what might be useful to take on a trip like this one. I know packing for a backpacking trip can be super stressful, so I've just made a list of everything that I would take personally, because I'm aware that people sometimes get worried about whether they're taking too much, whether they're taking too little, whether they're missing something vital. So yeah, I'm just gonna go straight into the video, but before I do that, if you would like a physical copy of this list, I will put a link down below to a spreadsheet that's got everything on there that you might need. I'm also going to put pictures here so you can see what I'm taking. So the first category that I'm going to be talking about is tech. I am taking a lot more than most people because I am planning to document and film and make TikToks and YouTube videos on my trip. Now, if you're not into that, then you don't need a lot of stuff on this list, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. So for the filming part of my trip, I will be taking a camera charger, camera batteries, 2 lenses, SD cards, SD card to phone cable, which means that I can put the SD card into this like little adapter and put it straight onto my phone, which is super cool. I'll also be taking my film camera and some film to go in there. And I'll also be taking a hard drive and a USB cable, 2 in case one breaks, to do some work. And then I'll also be taking my iPad to do some work. My iPad is also there so I can download movies and books to read while on my trip, you know, for those long days where you're like journeying across the country. That'll be really useful. Some other tech that I'm going to be taking, which most other people will probably also take, include headphones and earphones, because I have these Bluetooth ones that die quite quickly, so I'm taking some wired ones as well. I'm taking a portable charger which can be powered by the sun, like it's got little sun panels on it. I'm taking a speaker, I'm taking my iPhone charger and a backup iPhone charger in case that one breaks. And I am also taking some travel adapters. I'm taking one that's like universal and 2 that are the Spanish plug, but I think that works in a lot of countries in Asia as well. Taking a torch, which the batteries work for as well, in case there's like any power outages. And lastly, I'm taking a spare iPhone. That is more of a dummy iPhone, so if someone like wants to rob me, I can just give them that phone. Or in case my real phone gets nicked, I can use that one as a backup. Moving on, we're going to do health and safety and must-haves that you absolutely do not want to not have on a trip. So this is things like your documents. So this will be copies of your flight information, copy of your travel insurance, copies of your IDs, copies of your credit cards, copies of literally everything that you can think of, copies of your accommodation and where you're staying, because if your phone's dead and you need to get to your hostel but you can't remember where it is, you can like look through your documents, find the address and get there. You also need ID photos, so like the little passport photos, because a lot of times you need this for things like SIM cards, visas, and then obviously your passport. I would also take a copy of your passport as well, just in case. I'm taking a wallet and a dummy wallet again, so if someone tries to rob me, I can just give them a wallet with my Monzo card in there, because I can cancel that from the app so it's not usable, and then, you know, it's not that big of a deal if I lose that. I'm taking 2 locks and a lot of carabiners, and this is mainly for lockers in hostel rooms when I want to lock them up, and the carabiners are to hang off my bag and just hang wet stuff off there. I've also found them really useful for when zips, because like sometimes zips on bags come undone by themselves, which is so annoying. So I tend to like put a carabiner on them so the 2 zips don't come apart, if that makes sense. I'm also taking, I don't know what you call it, but it's like a door jammer / lock, so you can put it into any door and it means people from the outside can't get in. Again, this is really good for safety in places like hostels, public bathrooms, anything like that where you just want that added security that no one's going to walk in on you. I'm also taking a shit ton of medicine, because food, water out there is something that your stomach isn't used to, and if you fall sick, you want to be able to help yourself. So some of the medicines that I'm taking, I've actually written down. So I'm taking allergy and hay fever medication because I have really bad sinuses at the minute and it just ruins my day when I'm constantly sneezing. I'm also taking ibuprofen and paracetamol for pain relief. I'm taking sore throat lozenges. I am also taking water purifying tablets for when hostels or anywhere don't have like water dispensers, and it's a lot cheaper than buying water bottles all the time. So if you're really in a pinch, water purifying tablets are incredible. I'm also taking diarrhea relief medication. If you know, you know. It's very common when you're backpacking, and I'll also be taking indigestion relief tablets for that sort of same issue. I'll also be taking Diarrhea and electrolytes. I'm taking some antibacterial wipes just to wipe down any of my belongings at certain points, just to make sure that I'm not picking anything up off my phone or my iPad, stuff like that. Taking a first aid kit, plasters, and also Compeed plasters, so if I get any blisters from walking, I can put those on. They are so helpful. I'm also taking condoms. Better safe than sorry. Moving on. Sleeping bag liner, because sometimes hostels aren't up to scratch and they have beds that are kind of gross, so you can just sleep in your sleeping liner under your covers and it just feels a little more sanitary. And then lastly, I am taking a flat money belt, which can go under clothes, and you can keep that on you at all times with your really important documents, so things like your passport and your credit card. Now I've got a miscellaneous category because I don't think these really belong anywhere. So first up, I've got a microfiber towel, which I hate them because they don't really dry you very well, but it's better than taking a huge towel. They dry super quickly. If you really struggle to deal with one, you can always buy two and it will still save you so much space. I'm also taking a water bottle. Now in my TikTok, I was showing a water bottle which I've taken to Nepal previously, and it's fine, it's a great water bottle, but I don't know where they are. My mum got these recently, which are foldable water bottles, so these are great for like saving on space. So I'm going to be taking both of those instead of the big one, because that big one also takes up so much room. Next up on my miscellaneous items list, I've got a collapsible lunchbox and cutlery. Now I wasn't going to take this because it just seems like such a silly thing to bring, but then we're making a lot of journeys on like sleep trains and long bus journeys, and if I'm not eating that whole time, I'm gonna die. So my plan, well, mine and my friend's plan is, if we know we're gonna be traveling the next day, wherever we eat that night, we can get extras and just shove it in our lunchbox, and then we'll have food for the next day. I'm also going to be taking knee braces because I have a lot of issues with my knees when I walk a lot. I know we're planning a couple of hikes and I'm doing the trek in Nepal, so I need something to help with my knees while I'm hiking. Taking a notebook and pen just so I can scribble down any thoughts, maybe journal. Be that kind of girl, I don't know. I'm taking a handheld fan. Now I feel like this is kind of extra, but I have been on public transport before and it's been really cold because they pump the aircon. Sometimes it's unbearably hot, so I just want to have that there just in case, and I can find myself cooler and it'll be fine. I'm taking a pack of cards because these are an absolute essential when traveling. If you meet new people and you want something to do, playing a game of cards is just a great way to like get to know people, break the ice. I'm also taking a luggage strap. Now this is like kind of weird, but I originally used it to tape all my clothes together, like in their, what are they called? Packing cubes. So I had lots of packing cubes and I basically just tied that strap around and yanked it together to kind of compress them. But now I have a sleeping bag that's one that compresses it. So I've put my clothes in there instead and compressed it that way. So now I'm using my luggage strap just on the outside of my bag to like hang stuff off of, keep the bag straps like not loose and like flailing. Basically it's just some added security so my bag doesn't fall apart either. I'm also taking a neck pillow. I did have one from Primark, but the problem with that is you're having to lug that about and they're quite heavy. So instead I got an inflatable one which like compacts down into like this size, and I can just use it when I need it without having it to be like a burden, if that makes sense. I'm also going to be taking a sleeping mask and earplugs because these are so good when you are on public transport in a public place trying to sleep in a hostel and there's too much noise, too much light. You want to be able to sleep. These will help you sleep. Weirdly, I'm taking some more bags. So I'm gonna go through the reasonings why. So I'm taking some extra packing cubes just so I can, you know, if one breaks, I can chuck my clothes in the other one. I also have one that I'm using as a laundry bag, so I can put dirty clothes in there and keep it separate from my clean clothes, because you don't want clothes mixing like that. I'm taking a couple of plastic bags for things like dirty shoes, again, laundry. If anything breaks, I can carry it in that bag. Even shopping, for example, that's a good one. I'm also taking a fanny pack bum bag, and that's just going to strap across my body. I'm never going to take that off. Again, that's going to keep like my valuable items like money and documents stuff like that. I'm also taking a waterproof iPhone case so that I can go in water with my phone, and a dry bag because I plan on doing river tubing in Laos and I just want to be able to put stuff in there and it not get wet. We're doing rafting, like a raft house in Thailand as well. So my idea is I don't want my important things getting wet, so I can just shove them in there and they're good. I feel like this video is going to be really long, I apologize, but I'm hoping it's going to be helpful. Okay, so next up I've got toiletries. I did miss out nail clippers and tweezers in my TikTok video, which I will be taking because I'm a nibbler and I don't want like my nails constantly to be like peeling, and I really get a really bad monobrow, so I'm taking those. But this is everything else that I've also got on my list. I've got a compact, well, it's not compact, it's like a little mirror like this because I've stayed in places before that don't have mirrors or the mirrors aren't very good, and I like to look at myself in daylight, and some mirrors have like really gross artificial lighting, so I'm taking that. Exfoliating gloves because I care about hygiene still even when I'm backpacking. I'm taking a razor, I'm taking a Pears soap for my body, and also once I run out of travel wash I can use that, which is kind of gross but last minute resort. You do what you got to do when you're backpacking. I'm taking a I'm taking a cloth, a flannel for my face to wash my face with. Oh, the earplugs are in this section, never mind. Toothpaste and toothbrush. I'm taking a facial cleanser bar. I'm trying to not take as many liquids because you can only have a certain amount when you're doing hand luggage. So I got a face bar which I can wet and put onto the face cloth and clean my face that way. I know this is really bad, but the water out there I have found makes my skin really bad. So I plan on using bottled water or filtered water on the flannel to wash my face so I don't break out and get acne. I'm taking a shampoo bar from Lush because again it means I'm taking less liquids. I'm not taking a conditioner because I don't tend to condition my hair anyway. It's quite short, so that might be something that you want to take if you have longer hair and if you condition more regularly. I'm also taking a ton of hair ties. These just get lost, they break, people want to borrow them and you don't get them back. They just disappear into thin air, so take as many as you can if you plan on putting your hair up. Taking my menstrual cup because looking around pads and tampons is too much effort. I've been on a travel day once where I wasn't able to get to a toilet to sort myself out, and with all the other options it's kind of stressful because you don't know if they're gonna overflow, whereas a menstrual cup is pretty good at not doing that. And I plan on cleaning that with filtered water as well because I don't want any bacteria up in there, let's just say that. I'm taking very minimal makeup. In this picture I've only featured like the liquids because that was what was in my liquids bag, which is an eyebrow pencil, mascara and concealer, but I'll also be taking powder, bronzer and blush, and then one powder brush, which seems like a lot, but the way we're doing our trip, we've got a lot of like rest days, and if we go out for a meal I want to look nice, you know, and it doesn't take up that much space. Each to their own. I know some people say don't bring any at all, some people take loads. I'm in between. I'm gonna take what I feel comfortable wearing. I've got a little pouch full of all my jewelry, so this is like necklaces, earrings and rings. Again, some people might say this is not necessary, but I personally really like to accessorize, and it makes me feel confident. So on the days where we're being more casual or going out to eat, I would like to wear that. I've got an SPF lip balm. My personal favorite is the, what's it called, the Carmex one. I just think it's so good, and one of those little tubes literally lasts me like 3 months, so I'm hoping that that will be enough. I've also taken a deodorant, but I didn't want to take a roll on because they take up so much room in your liquids bag. So what I've done, which is kind of gross, is I've taken a pasty deodorant, twisted it all out of the container and put it into a Ziploc bag, and I'm just gonna it sounds so gross. I know you can buy deodorant out there, but I just wanted some for the start of the trip until I'm able to buy some more. I'm also taking this, which is the best sunscreen out there. This is Factor 50 UVA 4 stars. It's waterproof, it stays on all day, you don't need to reapply. And I'm taking that in a smaller bottle because this was 115 mils, so I put it into a 100 ml bottle. But a lot of people are saying that sunscreen is really expensive out there, so if I can fit one more in my liquids bag, I will, because I do not want to burn. I don't burn. I tan and I don't usually burn, but I am not risking that because that would be so painful out there without any remedies as well. And then lastly, for my toiletries section, I'm taking skincare because, like I said before, when I went out there previously, my skin got really bad and it just made me really insecure. So I'm taking things like a daily moisturizer, and I am also taking a retinoid, which I'm not going to apply every night because that's again really bad with sun exposure, but it's meant to be really good for your skin. And now we're on to the final section, which is clothes. I have kept like altering what I've taken based off what other people have said and what clothes I felt comfortable in, but this is roughly what I will be taking. I'm taking 4 pairs of shoes, which seems very excessive, but they're all quite small. So I'm taking walking boots, which I will wear a majority of the time when I'm moving from base to base because they're quite chunky. They won't fit in my bag, but I'm doing a lot of hikes. I'm doing the trek in Nepal and they are an essential for trekking. I'm taking some like Jesus sandals, Birkenstock style things because they're just easy to slip on. They're great for bathrooms. And then the ones that I'm going to be wearing most regularly are my Tevas, and they are so comfortable and they just work with every outfit. If you want a recommendation for shoes, I would recommend Tevas. Mine are platform, and I wish I didn't get platform because they're quite I lose my balance quite a bit. So if you're looking for shoes, non-platform Tevas, they'll be your best friend. And then I'm also taking a pair of water shoes because like with the dry bag, we're doing a lot of water activities, and I really hate when my feet touch the floor, or like I don't want to get anything poked in them or anything like that. So I'm taking water shoes. I'm also taking 2 pairs of sunglasses because I don't want to be blind. I'm taking a tote bag. I didn't think I needed one when I was in Nepal. I just had my bum bag, but then when we were going around casually, like around Pokhara, and like go to the restaurants and the cafes and a little bit of shopping, like it was actually really nice to have a tote bag. So I'm taking one this time because I learned my lesson. I'm also taking a bucket hat, but it's really cool because it's reversible, and on the other side it's got like this floral print, so I won't get bored of it, which is awesome. You definitely need a sun hat when you go out there. I got majorly dehydrated and I got sunstroke when I was in Nepal because I just wasn't wearing one. For coats, I'm taking a raincoat in case it rains. I'm taking a like quarter zip like fleecy cardigan thingy for like cooler nights, and then I'm also taking a down jacket for when it gets really cold. I'm going to need that on my trek in Nepal, definitely. Most of the places in Southeast Asia you won't need it because it's technically a warm area of the world, but just in case, it's worth taking a jacket. We're almost there, guys, don't worry. Now for little bits and bobbies, I'm taking 2 headbands because my hair gets in the way all the time and headbands just make it easier. I'm taking 2 bras. One is a sports bra and one is a non-padded bralette because they're just comfy. I'm taking 4 socks. I'm taking 8 pairs of underwear because I feel like they break a lot and you could lose a pair and you just don't want to be left without underwear because that's not great. I'm taking 3 bikini bottoms and 3 bikini tops. I was originally going to take a one piece, but I don't like how one pieces fit me, and bikinis you can mix and match them. You just get a lot more variety out of them. And lastly, we're on like the real big chunky clothes. I'm taking 1 pair of cargo trousers, 1 harem pant elephant style pair of trousers. I'm technically going to be wearing these as my pajamas because they're super comfy. The ankle is elasticated so nothing can get inside. That sounds so strange, like bugs is what I mean. And then I'm taking 1 pair of leggings, which is going to be my underlayer for when I go on the hike in Nepal. And then I'm also taking 1 pair of denim shorts, my trusty pair of Levi's that are super comfy and they're dark wash so they won't get dirty when I'm doing things. And then I'm also taking 1 mini black skirt for like when we go out. But you could also like dress it down, possibly. I'm taking 2 dresses. I'm taking this really pretty blue one for like, again, going out. And then I'm taking a basic black one, which is kind of like maxi length, and that can be dressed up or down, but it's just super comfortable. I can wear it to the beach. And then lastly, I've got a sarong. Well, it's technically a scarf, but it can go over my shoulders. It can go around my waist. It can just be an accessory. They are so helpful, especially if you're going to Southeast Asia with all the temples where you need to dress modestly. You can just sling it over and you'll be good. Tops, I am taking 3 long sleeve tops because in the evening it might get chilly and I don't want to get bit, and also as an underlayer for the hikes because usually when you go on hikes it gets quite cold in the morning or at night depending on when you do it. I'm taking 3 shirts. I'm taking this really cool like dad vibe, Hawaiian vibe, dad vibe shirt, and then I'm taking like 2 thin which ones am I taking? I'm taking a blue thin linen shirt and a white thin linen shirt. Again, for modesty in temples, or even on an evening when it gets a little bit cooler, even as a sun cover up when you're on the beach and you feel yourself burning, you can just chuck that on top and you'll be good. And lastly, I'm taking quite a few vests because they don't take up a lot of room, but I'm taking 5 vests slash crop tops. They're small, they don't take up much room, and you can mix and match them with whatever bottoms you've brought. I may also take one more pair of trousers because I don't have that many. And I was thinking about it earlier and they roll up quite small, so we'll see. That is basically what I'm taking on my trip to Southeast Asia. I definitely haven't missed anything because I'm so meticulous when it comes to these things. And like I said before, if you fancy having a look at the list in a physical form, or you just want to be able to check it off, I have included a link down below. Or if you have any specific questions or you need advice or anything like that, you can comment down below, message me on Instagram. I am always answering those because when I need people to help me, I'm really grateful when they do, so I'd be happy to pass on that information to you guys. And I'm pretty sure this will be the last video you guys see of me until I get home in May. I am planning to upload a few shorts and a few vlogs and stuff like that, but nothing lengthy, me talking to the camera like this, because I will not have my laptop to do any editing, which is kind of sad, but also not, because it's very heavy and I can't be bothered to have to carry that around. So yeah, this is my last video. I am signing off. That was cringy, and I will see you in May. Bye.